Hi there. This is a 2003 Ford F-150 XLT cab 4x 4.6 liter Triton 2-valve, and I want to show you how I changed my fan clutch. Okay, I went on the internet and looked up how to change this fan clutch, and people are unhooking the transmission lines and taking the shroud out and taking all this stuff here off the airflow tube and draining the coolant, I think, and taking the top radiator hose off and stuff. And I looked at this thing and I'm like, man, I don't want to do all that. I got to put a serpentine belt on this morning. I've got it laying in the seat of the truck, but I want to share this with you right quick. Let me show you how I done this. Probably took 15 minutes. Now, I did not time it, okay? But I was thanking the Lord when I got done because it went so fast. I took this big crazy wrench, okay? Just some stuff I found somewhere. Now, I do have a shop. But I stuck this wrench on that big nut right there. That's a right-handed thread, and I took this pipe and I set this pipe right on that wrench like that. And I whacked this pipe with a ball-peen hammer, just a small ball-peen hammer. And I had to whack it maybe 8 or 10 times. And had to reset that a couple times. But it came right off. And then it came loose. Now, I didn't take it off yet. Just get it loose. Don't take it off yet. Just get it loose where you can turn the fan and that big nut down there would turn. Get it loose. And then I simply got me a ratchet. And I think these are 13 millimeter bolts that hold this fan to the fan clutch. And these were not tight. And I rotated that around. You can get both hands. You can get one hand in here with your ratchet and hold the fan with the other hand. There's plenty work room to do what I'm telling you. I ain't very good at videoing, but there's plenty work room. And then I took the bolts out, and that just leaves your fan blade hanging. It don't fall into the radiator because the way it goes on, it hangs on this. I'm trying to get it in the picture. It just hangs on this shaft, is all it does. Then I took this piece of wire. This is just a piece of electric fence wire. Is all this just a piece of wire. And I reached down here and I hooked this wire in one of the bolt holes of the fan housing. Not the fan clutch housing, but the fan housing. And then I just bent this wire around this radiator hose. Just like that. I didn't even twist it. I just bent it around like that. And then I reached in behind this fan, because by then, see, at that point, I can't get this. I'm sorry about the focus. I'm sorry about that. But when you've got the bolts out of this fan leans right up against the front of the motor. So then it's easy to get your hand back here and unscrew that fan clutch by hand. This fan blade assembly is hanging by this wire. It stays right there. And so you reach around behind it, unscrew the fan clutch. Takes 2 hands to maneuver it out of there, and it came right through this area here, and I pulled it right out of here. I stuck the new one in there. I come over here and reached, like I say, this fan blade is not in your way once you got it loose. And this wire is holding it from falling down. This wire is holding it with its hole in the center, right where it needs to be, and it stayed there perfect for me. I reached behind this fan blade, which is easy to do, like I say, when it's unbolted. I screwed this back in, and I screwed it back in, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 turns or so. And then I went and got my Loctite, my thread locker. The new fan clutch came with new bolts. And so I put in lock washers. And so I just reached down in here. I took my wire out of the way. And at that point, the fan just hangs on that shaft. And then I just lined it back up and reached down here. Easy to get to. Finger tightened my bolts back in with the blue thread locker on them. And then tighten it back up, and then spin the fan, and thread this on. Put my wrench back on there. This wrench don't even really fit this thing, but it's the one I used. And then sit this pipe on the other side of that wrench, like that, in the opposite direction, and whack that thing several times and tighten that fan clutch back up on that. And that, my dear friends, is all I've done. I took nothing off, nothing. I'm about 5'10", about 210 pounds, 220 dressed. My hands, I wear extra large gloves. I work a long sleeve shirt. I had no problem at all, none, getting my hands in there and working this thing, and I was done miraculously fast in my book. I mean, God help me, and I didn't take nothing off. So these guys doing this stuff in 2 or 3 hours, look, it don't take that long. That's all I've got to say. Good day. God bless.